You know that feeling in your gut when you're trying to manage your money? That nagging feeling that you're doing everything you're supposed to, you're saving, you're investing, but you're just stuck, not getting anywhere. Well, today we're gonna dig into exactly why that slow start feels so brutal and what it actually takes to finally build some real momentum.
I mean, this is a question I think we've all asked ourselves. You've worked hard. You've put money away into your ISA or your pension. You finally hit that first big milestone. Maybe it's 10,000 pounds. You log in to check your balance, and it feels like nothing has changed. Why does that huge effort feel like you're still standing at the starting line?
And this is the danger zone, isn't it? It's the point where you start to doubt all the advice you've ever heard. You know, all those articles and videos talking about the magic of compounding. You feel like you've done your bit, you've put in the work, but where's the magic? You start to wonder, maybe this whole thing is just one big lie.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's not a lie, but it is a truth that comes with a massive catch. The magic of compounding is absolutely real, but, and this is a huge but, it doesn't just kick in from day one. There's this incredibly tough stage you have to grind through first.
And this frustrating period actually has a name, the compounding minimum. Think of it as the phase where your investment returns in pounds and pence are just too small to make any real difference to your life. Your progress feels invisible, because honestly, it pretty much is.
Let's just put some numbers on this. Let's say your investments are doing pretty well. Maybe they're getting you an 8% annual return. Now, on paper, that sounds amazing, right? 8% growth every single year? That sounds like a rocket ship for your money.
But here comes the reality check. An 8% return when you've only managed to save your first £1,000 is just 80 quid. That's it. For a whole year of being disciplined, of saving and investing, you've made £80.
And let's be honest, £80 is what we call functionally invisible. It's not going to change your life. It's not even going to change your month. It's maybe a decent dinner out for two, if you're lucky. It doesn't move the needle. It doesn't lower your stress. It just doesn't feel like progress at all.
You know those charts you always see about compounding? The ones that show that amazing J-curve, where the line shoots up into the sky. Well, in the beginning, you're not on that exciting curvy part. You're stuck on the long, flat, boring line at the very start. That's just the reality of the early game.
So this brings us to the most important idea in this whole explainer. Getting off that flat line isn't just about waiting. There is a huge obstacle, a barrier that every single person who's become a successful investor has had to smash through. It's a wall.
All right, so if the magic doesn't happen at £1,000 or even £10,000, then when the heck does it finally start? At what point do you break out of that compounding minimum and actually start to feel your money doing some of the heavy lifting for you?
The number, the tipping point, is £100,000. And look, this isn't just some random round number picked out of thin air. The analysis shows this is the critical point, the threshold where the entire game of building wealth completely changes.
So let's give it a proper name. The wall is that first 100,000 quid. You have to think of it as a barrier. You can't just wait out. Compounding is too weak at this stage to get you over it. No, you have to actively, physically climb it yourself before the real magic can start on the other side.
So, if you're standing in front of this massive wall, how do you get over it? You can't just wish your way to the top. You need a tool. You need a plan. You need to build yourself a ladder.
And this is the crucial mindset shift you have to make. Getting to that first 100K is not a passive game. It's not about waiting for your investment returns to do the work. It is an active, hands-on process of construction, and it's driven almost completely by your own hard graft. And you know what? The ladder you need to build is actually pretty simple. It's just a two-step strategy. Step one, you have to focus like a laser on increasing your income. That means getting that promotion, starting a side hustle, learning new skills. Step two, you have to be ruthless about protecting your savings. Every single pound you can find needs to go towards building that ladder and getting you up and over that wall.
Okay, so now for the really good part. Let's talk about the price. What actually happens when you build that ladder, you put in the work, and you finally scramble over the top of that 100K wall? What does life look like on the other side?
This is it. This is the moment you've been grinding for. Once you are past that wall, you are finally off the flat line. Remember that 8% return? Well, 8% of £100,000 is £8,000 a year. Now that is a functionally visible amount of money. That's a real salary boost. The J-curve, at last, starts to bend upwards. And honestly, life after 100K is just a different ballgame. Your returns are now big enough to start generating their own meaningful returns.
Your wealth starts to build on itself with way less brute force from you. You have escaped the compounding minimum forever. This is it. This is where the magic you were promised finally feels real.
So, the main takeaway here is really simple. That frustration you feel at the start, it's completely valid. The slow beginning is real, but it's not a lie, it's a wall. And a wall isn't a dead end. It's just a challenge. It's something you can climb. So the only question left to ask yourself is, when are you going to start building?